Hey, Brother Roy here, Old School Bible Baptist Ministries. So this is an on request video. I have had multiple people ask me to talk about the difference between the Oxford and the Cambridge editions of the King James Bible, the two different publishers, Oxford and Cambridge. And it's something that Bible atheists like to make a big deal about and say, see, the King James Bible can't be perfect because look at the differences in the different King James Bibles. And right, so all of that. So this is not anything that I've ever really been worried about. As we used to say, I never let rent space in my head. And okay, I went, I did a little due research, I did a little reading, and I came to the conclusion, and that conclusion is the title of a William Shakespeare play, Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing. Okay, so think about this, in 1611, after 7 years, busted up into 5 teams, the 40-something translators, they come out with their finished product, right? Handwritten manuscript, finished product. All right, there's your King James Bible. Woo-wee, amen, right? So then printers take the handwritten manuscripts and they take them to printing presses, and they have to set each letter by hand backwards. All right, so printers' errors were made. And that's why there were subsequent editions of the King James Bible, leading all the way up to the one that we use now, the 1769. And that's what your Oxford or your Cambridge is the 1769 edition of the 1611 King James Bible. But any edition of the King James Bible is a 1611 King James Bible, because no words have been purposely changed from what the translators came out of the translation with in 1611. Nobody's ever purposely changed these words. Spelling has been updated. Printers' errors were corrected. But nobody has ever gone into here and intentionally changed any word in the Bible and tried to correct what the translators came out of their handwritten manuscripts, what the translators came out of the translation committee with. Every single bit of work that has been done on any edition of the King James Bible by Oxford or Cambridge, the attitude, the mission, the theme has been to be true, word for word, to the translation. And that's obviously 180 degrees different motivation, heart attitude than every single other fake Bible, especially and including the New King James. They have gone in and purposely changed thousands of words. So, first half of my Christian life, I rocked this bad old boy right here. And this was a old original Scofield Reference Bible. It was from, I'll show you right here, Oxford University Press, right? I rocked that for the first half of my Christian life. Now, second half of my Christian life, I rocked my Ruckman Reference Bible. Ruckman Reference Bible is the Cambridge edition, all right? Now, most of my crowd, King James Bible believers that I know, they talk about the pure Cambridge, and they prefer the Cambridge. But as I was studying for this video, I went in and found other really good Bible believers that make a case that the Oxford was the pure one with all the little corrections and typos and all of that. They say, well, this is this one, this one, this one. I'm here to tell you, hey, there really ain't no difference. Okay, so first article I found said there was 3 words that were different, and then I found a couple more and a couple more, and I finally came to a conclusion of 6 words that have been changed. There's some punctuation stuff that's different, but as far as actual words that are different between your Oxford and Cambridge edition of the 1769 edition of the 1611 King James Bible. So let's just take a quick peek at those 6 differences, and you'll see why I say much ado about nothing. Amen. All right, I put together a little graphic here for you. So we'll start it. We'll just work our way through the Bible. Okay, so the first one there will be in Joshua chapter 19 and verse 2. Now, the Cambridge says, and they had in their inheritance Beersheba or Sheba and Molada. The Oxford said, and they had in their inheritance Beersheba and Sheba and Molada. Okay, so or and, right? I'd say it's probably or and. All right, next one. 2 Chronicles 33 and 19. The Cambridge says his prayers also and how God was entreated of him and all his sin and his trespass and the places wherein he built high places and set up groves and graven images before he was humbled. Behold, they are written among the sayings of the seers. And then the Oxford says, his prayers also, and how God was entreated of him, and all his sins, plural, and his trespasses, and the places wherein he built, etc., etc. So, hey, his sins were sin, and his sin was sins. Just much ado about nothing. Amen. Okay. Psalms 148 and verse 8 says, fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind, fulfilling his word. Psalms in the Oxford it reads fire and hail, snow and vapors. So hey, you got vapor and it's all vapors and it's all vapor. I mean, really? Really? Okay. So all right. Then you got Jeremiah chapter 34 and verse 16. Says, Cambridge says, but you turned and polluted my name and caused every man his servant, every man his handmaid, whom ye had set at liberty at their pleasure to return, and brought them into subjection to be unto you for servants, for handmaids. And the Oxford says, but ye turned and polluted my name and caused every man his servant and every man his handmaid, whom he had set at liberty at their pleasure to return, and blah, blah, blah. So, hey, if I'm talking to you, it's ye. If I'm talking about him, it's he. So they were all guilty. Amen. They were all guilty. Much ado about nothing. All right. Nahum 16. Chapter 3, verse 16. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and flieth away. And then the Oxford says, thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven, and the cankerworm spoileth and fleeth away. Listen, I was an old crook, right? And I know a lot of times when I was fleeing, when I was a young man, I could move. I was flying. I was fleeing. I was flying. And while I was flying, I was fleeing. Amen. Much ado about nothing. All right. And finally, there's only one in the New Testament, and that's in Mark chapter 1 and verse 19. And when he'd gone a little further, thence he saw James, the son of Zebedee. Amen. And okay, over in the Oxford, it says, and when he had gone a little farther thence, he saw James, the son of, okay, so, hey, if I go further, then I've gone farther, and I've gone farther, then, well, I've gone a little further. Hey, much ado about nothing. And that's it. Listen, whichever edition you have, and I mean from the day the 1611 came out, through all of the revisions and corrections of printers errors or whatever. Listen, you've had God's perfect word. Amen. Whichever one you have, because listen, there's never been any intention of anyone to go in and change the words of what the translators came out with in 1611. God gave each and every perfect word to us in 1611, and look at through printing presses and scholars and stuff. It's all been an effort to stay true to one book, the King James 1611 Bible. So, hey, is one of these perfect? Well, absolutely, because God says we got a perfect Bible. Do I personally know? Is it the Oxford? Is it the Cambridge? Or, I mean, does it matter? No, it doesn't matter, because all those 6 were synonymous. They were like one letter difference. I mean, there's absolutely no way you can even possibly have any kind of doctrine or truth or teaching or anything change. Whichever one you've got 100% pure and perfect, 100% pure and perfect thing on the face of planet Earth. You have the words of God. You've got your King James Bible. In any edition is God's pure, perfect, preserved words and without error. So that's my position on the whole Oxford, Cambridge. Hey, for people that are just overly studious, that is not me. You can overthink some things. Amen. Look, hey, maybe God did that just to bring some bugs out of the weeds, if you know what I mean. Maybe he just did that to check the faith of some folks' heart and see what they were focused on. Amen. Look, it don't matter if you got an Oxford or if you got a Cambridge. You have the inerrant, inspired, pure, and preserved words of the living God in your King James Bible. Just roll with that. I always have. Amen. God bless you. We'll see you in the next one.